Christy Knowings was an American actress, comedian, singer, and performer whose career became closely associated with Nickelodeon's All That, the sketch comedy series that helped define children's television in the late 1990s. Her comedy was energetic, character-driven, and often built around distinctive voices, personalities, and physical performance. Although her most recognizable television work came during her teenage years, Knowings continued exploring acting, writing, music, and television appearances long after leaving the Nickelodeon series. In August 2026, news of her death brought renewed attention to a performer many viewers remembered from the original generation of All That. Christy Lorraine Knowings was born on February 25, 1980, in the Bronx, New York City. She was 46 when she died in August 2026. One of the most distinctive details of her family background was that she had a twin brother, actor Chris Knowings, who also developed a career in television. The siblings eventually appeared together on Sesame Street, giving Christy an unusual connection between her childhood Nickelodeon fame and her brother's later work in children's television. Knowings' path to All That was considerably less conventional than a straightforward audition story. Before joining the series, she had appeared in a Nickelodeon-produced sketch special associated with Rosie O'Donnell called And Now This. According to accounts of her casting history, Christy and her twin brother were in a green room when casting personnel connected with All That were nearby. Chris encouraged his sister to perform some of her impressions and accents. The casting directors noticed her abilities, asked her to audition, and she ultimately won a place on the show. What began almost accidentally became the defining television chapter of her career. Knowings joined All That in 1997, during the program's fourth season, and remained through the end of its sixth season in 2000. IMDb lists her as appearing in 32 episodes. She worked alongside performers including Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell, Amanda Bynes, Lori Beth Denberg, Danny Tamborelli, Nick Cannon, and Josh Server. The series became a major launching point for several young performers, eventually producing recognizable television personalities and spin-offs such as Kenan and Kel and The Amanda Show. Her range was one of the less obvious reasons she stood out. Knowings did not rely on a single signature character. During her All That years, she portrayed numerous personalities, including Jessica in the recurring Whateverrr sketches with Amanda Bynes, Penny Lane, Yoko, Lieutenant Fondue, Brenda Stone, Winter Wonders, and Gloria Bankhead. She also appeared in sketches such as The Inconvenience Store, Dulmont Junior High, and Channel 6.5 News. The variety demonstrated how easily she could move between accents, exaggerated personalities, parody, and physical comedy. The Whateverrr sketches became particularly memorable because Knowings and Amanda Bynes played two young women whose exaggerated conversations revolved around their shared interests in celebrities and boys. Years later, Knowings explained that the pairing had a broader cultural significance for her. She viewed the sketch as an example of how the show could place a black girl and a white girl together without making racial difference the central joke. Instead, their characters were simply two eccentric personalities enjoying the same obsessions. Knowings also spoke openly about the importance of cultural representation on All That. She identified herself as Native American and Afro-Latina and said her background allowed her to contribute cultural nuances to sketches that writers might not otherwise have known. She specifically discussed working with Kenan Thompson in this regard, explaining that their experiences from the Bronx helped bring details and perspectives into the comedy. Her comments provide an important explanation for why certain sketches from the era felt culturally specific, even when the show was aimed primarily at children. Among all the characters she performed, Gloria Bankhead held a particularly special place for Knowings. She described Gloria as an exaggerated version of a Martha Stewart-type personality and recalled staying in character throughout the day while filming. The role was introduced during her final season and became the character she personally identified as her favorite. That detail reveals something about her approach to comedy. She was not merely delivering lines for the camera, but enjoyed developing a character's personality beyond the immediate requirements of a sketch. There were also moments when Knowings' improvisational personality extended beyond the written sketches. During an appearance involving the musical group 98 Degrees, she recalled pretending to read the members' palms backstage. The story became one of the lighter memories she shared when reflecting on her years on All That. She also remembered working around celebrity musical guests and the unusual atmosphere created when a young comedy cast suddenly found itself interacting with nationally recognized performers. Her relationship with fellow cast members was also significant. Kenan Thompson later described Knowings as genuinely funny and expressed his grief after her death. Kel Mitchell similarly remembered her as naturally funny, talented, fearless, and capable of creating large, memorable characters. These tributes are consistent with Knowings' own recollections that Thompson, Mitchell, Denberg, the producers and writers made her feel welcome when she entered the All That cast. Away from All That, Knowings continued to work in entertainment, although her public profile became much quieter. She appeared in the 2009 film Mother and Child, a drama featuring an ensemble cast that included Samuel L. Jackson, Annette Bening, Naomi Watts, Kerry Washington, and Jimmy Smits. Knowings was credited not only as a performer, but also with a writing credit connected to the film. This part of her career is easy to overlook because the movie was dramatically different from the fast-paced comedy for which she was best known. Another meaningful chapter came through Sesame Street. Between 2008 and 2011, Knowings made 3 appearances on the long-running children's program. She appeared alongside her real-life twin brother Chris, who had established a much longer association with the series. Chris Knowings had become known to Sesame Street viewers through his recurring role as Chris, and Sesame Workshop identifies him as a Bronx native whose career began in film and television before developing into his work on the children's program. Music was another side of Knowings' creative life. She was not exclusively an actress, and her later work included singing. In 2020, she released a folk song titled To the World. Reports about her career also describe her as a performer interested in singing and dancing, reinforcing the picture of an entertainer whose abilities extended well beyond sketch comedy. Her private life remained considerably less documented than her professional career. Publicly available biographical records identify her twin brother Chris as an immediate family connection, while reliable mainstream reports surrounding her death have focused primarily on her career, family, and longtime colleagues rather than a spouse or publicly confirmed romantic partner. There is therefore no responsible basis for presenting an alleged marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, or other romantic relationship as established fact. Similarly, online speculation should not be converted into biography simply because it appears repeatedly on social media or celebrity websites. One unusual biographical detail appears in IMDb's background information. The site states that Knowings apprenticed under writer-director Kevin Jarre and lived with him for approximately 6 years before his death in 2011. That information is part of the published biographical record, although major reports about her career and death have not independently developed this aspect of her personal history. It is therefore best treated as a documented biographical claim rather than expanded into assumptions about the nature of their relationship. The most recent and consequential development in Knowings' story came in August 2026. According to reports citing her family, she suffered an asthma attack on August 7th and was hospitalized in the Los Angeles area. Reports said the medical emergency resulted in brain damage and that she was subsequently placed on life support. After 4 days in the hospital, her family made the decision to withdraw life support, and she died on August 11th at the age of 46. The circumstances surrounding her death quickly generated widespread discussion because the actress had largely remained outside the center of entertainment news for years. However, the confirmed reporting does not support sensational theories about what happened. The publicly reported account attributes her hospitalization to an asthma attack and her death to complications following that medical emergency. Claims beyond those facts should be regarded as speculation unless her family or another authoritative source confirms them. The timing also gave the news particular weight among All That fans. Knowings became the second cast member from the Nickelodeon series to die in 2026. Kiana Underwood, another former All That performer, died earlier in the year at age 33. The 2 deaths renewed attention toward the young performers who helped shape the original series and toward the passage of time since the show's 1990s era. Following Knowings' death, former colleagues publicly remembered her. Kenan Thompson wrote that the news hit hard and sent love to her family. Kel Mitchell described her as one of a kind and emphasized her natural comedic ability and fearlessness. Such responses are significant because they come from people who worked alongside her during the formative period of her career rather than from distant observers discovering her work after the news. There are currently no substantiated celebrity rumors that should be presented as established facts about Christy Knowings. The major recent story concerning her is her death, and the available reporting is centered on her medical emergency, family, career, and tributes from former colleagues. Her relatively private personal life also means that claims about secret relationships, undisclosed family conflicts, or hidden circumstances surrounding her death should not be treated as factual without credible confirmation. Christy Knowings ultimately left behind a career defined by versatility rather than sheer volume. She entered All That through an unexpected casting opportunity, transformed impressions and accents into memorable characters, helped bring Bronx and Afro-Latina and Native American cultural perspectives into children's comedy, worked beside performers who would become major entertainment figures, reunited professionally with her twin brother on Sesame Street, explored film writing and music, and continued creating away from the intense spotlight of her Nickelodeon years. Her death at 46 has brought her name back into public conversation, but the record of her career shows that she had already created something lasting. A collection of characters and performances that remained recognizable decades after she first stepped onto the All That stage.